So this is a tiny A-frame above the ground, around 40 feet. There's a lot of little mountains around, and we're also at the height of the trees. This is a getaway that has everything inside to feel comfortable, so bed, a shower, AC, everything to cook, and a very nice view on the St. Lawrence River. We started thinking about this more than 3 years ago. My brother Simon and I and Heriberto were really thinking about playing with the A-frame because we'd never designed an A-frame cabin before. And also to have a cabin on stilt because of the land. It was very steep, so that was the start of it. It was a very long process, so before from the first drawings to this cabin build and finish, the final product is definitely different than what we've expected, and it's way better. It's also the addition of all the people that came and worked with us that added their little thing. It's 100% steel, so like the structure, the stilts and the staircase, everything is 100% steel. When you arrive, you have a staircase, so you go up about 40 stairs, and then there's a bridge that you cross, and then you get into the cabin. So it's a little bit over 200 square feet. It's hard to exactly tell because it's in a diamond shape, so it's not typically just an A-frame. I think it's very different of when you see the cabin outside, like the angles, and then when you're inside, it's a lot more of circles, curves, and it's more of flow. So we really wanted to play with the contrast of that, so we really like that. Well, when you come in, of course, it's a very small space, but you need space to put your clothes and shoes and stuff like that. So you have little dryers here and like for the coats. And well, it's a cabin with a lot of angles, so we had to play with it. That's why you have this kind of space. And then next you have just the toilet. So because it's a very small space, it's really just the toilet, and the shower is apart. Because we needed more space, we needed to do a curved door, so if it would have been flat, we wouldn't have enough space. Everything is really made in the shop, so the lamination, this is like a couple of layers that we've put on a mold to really like have the shape we wanted. And as you see, it's cut in also another piece, so it's not just to make a curved door, it's also to make everything in the same curve. We even weld the tiny shape of the cabin for the toilet paper holder. We really like to play with lights. We think the ambience and the experience that you're gonna live, it's very connected to the light that you have around. So there's a ton of option. You see there's a couple places that there's LED stripes. You have this light that's funky. You have like the other that's in the bathroom. In the shower you have a little light at the bottom, and then you have also the lights in the head of the bed and also the light at the top. And then if you go to the shower, it's very tight space. So when we arrive with incorporating the shower, we really wanted to keep the space open. So when you're here right now where I am, well, you don't have a wall that's like cutting the space. So the translucent of the space is very important. So that's why we play with glass, and also the height of it. It's very nice to be in there. Behind this is all the electricity, and then in the angle you have the water heater. That's quite big. We have a 40-gallon tank, and then next to it you have the little fridge, and that's the access you go to all the electricity and mechanical room. Well, so the kitchen, it's for rental, so it's minimalism, but everything that you need. A very deep countertop to have enough space to cook. Well, it's also stainless steel for us, for maintenance. It's easier. It's also, we really like the contrast with the woods. And then we cut with the CNC the holes for the fan. And then you go to the drawers. Everything is handmade here. We went for homemade handles and again circles. We really wanted to play with curves and stuff like that. The inside of the drawers is also cut with the CNC, so the cutlery holder. Everything you need. A lot of space for small kitchen. We have a running water here, and then it's a granite sink. And then as you move through the space of the cabin closer to the window, well, we went to the open space to have everything accessible, again with curves. So everything is there on the little shelves. And most important part, the wine glasses holder and the wine bottles holders, everything is homemade. So we've molded everything. So the wood, this is not straps, this is wood that was molded to all the wine or champagne or whatever you want to drink to have a nice evening. So when you get closer to the glass, you can really see the diamond shape. So the little angle that we've kept and that we think that really created a unique space, not just an A-frame. It's very usable also as a diamond shape, because if I sit here, you see like I have the space of the counter here, my head is clearing, so a lot of space. It's not like losing any of the stuff. And underneath the sink and the countertop, we ran the plumbing into the angle, so really close to the countertop in the angle. So the drawer, the space we have left behind the drawers. So there's not a lot of space that we lost playing with those angles, so it's very nice. Here we have the table. So again, we really wanted to not obstruct the view. So we built in the table into the glass frame. So the aluminum, it's aluminum glass frame, and then we've really like built in the table, and it's pretty solid, and it looks like it's part of the window, which was what we wanted. You want to sleep as close as possible and comfortable of the view. This is a queen size bed that underneath it we integrated the air exchanger, and then there's drawers also. The head of the bed is made with a little curve to flow with the rest, and we integrated a little light that's also dimmable, so if you want just a little quiet light, or if you want to be able to read, well, you can do both. We wanted to have a different perspective, so we integrated two skylight. So one that opens up for the air to flow, and the one that's just like there for the light. On the bridge itself, you have a little space, so you can just drink coffee and have fun here. But then if you go down below the cabin, there's a deck, and there's a homemade fire pit. It's also a grill, so you can cook on it. And there's a ski chair to sit on that we rebuilt and repaint. So it's Canada, big winter, so we have a eating floor just for, well, of course, eating the place up, but also a lot of comfort. Because the cabin is up in the air, there's a lot of air flowing underneath. So in that type of cabin, it's really hard to keep the feet warm, and the eating floor is just perfect to be really comfy. We also have the heat pump, which in the summer is AC. So it's very small space and very well insulated also, so it's easy to keep it warm. So, well, the cabin is fully equipped. So we have running water, we have electricity, everything is here. So of course we're up in the air. It was a bit more complex. We live in Canada, and it has a 60 Celsius degrees difference in the summer versus in the winter. So we have a running water that comes into the staircase that we put an isolated box around it, and the gray water is also going down too, so it's keeping it warmer. And we also put a heat cable to make sure that everything's not going to be freezing. And bringing electricity up here was a challenge, but then because we're in Quebec and our electricity is renewable, so we just plugged into the grid. We bring everything up in the hill, and we're plugged in. So the foundation here was very critical, because we're in an earthquake zone and we're almost 40 feet in the air. So we had to do very deep steel. So we drilled in the rock for about the same height that the cabin is right now, so almost 30 feet down. But then there's also the staircase that really helps to keep the cabin very stable. So Robert Boreal is a business that my brother and I created. We're based in Charlevoix in Quebec. We started with 3 cabins, and now 6 years later we just finished the 34th cabin. All cabins are designed in-house and built in-house. And there's different type of cabins. Some are up in the air like here. We have also cabins that we've made out of shipping containers, and some also that are really like a big glass and a rooftop deck. And it's a glamping project. There's also a spa zone, other stuff around. So we want people to have experience in the nature.
Subscribe to Exploring Alternatives and please share this video if you liked it. You can also follow Repère Boréal on Instagram and on their website. Thanks for watching.